Hello there, everybody. Welcome. Hello there, Angela. How you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Not too bad. So we got a birthday in the house. Dow Dow. Happy birthday, Dow Dow. Nice to see you. So, hello, Chris. Nice to have you there, Dow Dow. We got Cassie. Hello, Cassie. So, what have you been up to?
Now, this past weekend, I was at the old Paulding jail doing readings, and from Saturday and Sunday, lots of paranormal activity. We also shadow people, and we also had objects move on their own. A table that moved on its own, and disembodied voices knocking. Somebody thought they saw me downstairs following somebody when I wasn't even there and I just disappeared. So clearly that wasn't me. I had, from my personal experience, upholding jail, and last time and this time, the same a spirit came up to me in while I was trying to sleep, and his top half of his face looks like a normal person, looks like a normal man, but from the bottom half, there is just like a Pennywise style mouth with lots and lots of pointed teeth and very skull like on the bottom. And he likes to rush up right in my face and say something, and then just recede back. And I was laughing about something as I was laying there because a friend of ours was in the office, and he was doing some research and on the Anunnaki and fallen angels. And for somehow, when he put that in all in Google, it came up with pinto bean pie recipe, and he couldn't believe that came up under that. So I was laughing about that, and then that guy showed up, went right up to my face, and it was like I'm kind of mocking my laughter, and then he just receded back again.
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was something. I did quite a few readings there, and there quite a few psychic portraits there for people that came in those 2 days. And we have a lot of events planned there now. This weekend, I will be at the Viking Fest in Burton, Ohio, at the Geauga Fairgrounds, and we'll be doing rune readings and psychic portraits there at the Viking Festival. So make sure you bring your Viking gear and regalia and come on in and enjoy that at the fairgrounds. And I'll be wearing my crown and my Viking style blouse and be all set for that. And I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, it is. Sounds like a lot of fun. So we're going to ring up Dow Dow. So Dow Dow just changed the cosmic past, or I would say past of the show. So she says I'm done with all my karmic past life experiences. Hey, Cindy, nice to
She's,
see you. Thanks
is
for
he,
tuning in.
so it's
So
Dow Dow
with that, go ahead.
ask, is Dow Dow asking, am I done with all my karmic past life experiences? Dow Dow want a reading on that?
Well, I want to mark it. So we're going to start with karmic past life insights, right? See, the karmic past life experiences, I think, are based on beliefs that people think our souls carry memories, lessons, and unsolved issues from previous incarnations from the past. Some people believe it's rooted in traditions like Hinduism, Buddhism, and various other philosophies. But the karma refers to principle cause and effect. It's the idea that the actions and your intentions and energy from one life could influence the circumstances of another. And a lot of people always ask, well, what are karmic past life experiences? Uh, some of the ones that I can think of is unexplained fears or phobias. For an example, someone with an intense fear of drowning may have drowned in their past life. Others, we have instant connections or to people, meeting somebody for the first time, but you know that you feel like you've known them forever. They may have probably a past life connection or a relationship somehow. But one of the things I look at is recurring life patterns. It's repeating the same relationship and dynamics, emotional challenges, struggles, and that can also be some unresolved karmic lessons. A lot of people ask about birthmarks or physical traits. Some of those could be remnants or symbols from past life trauma or identity. What about dreams of deja vu, Angela? Have you ever had that?
Oh, yeah. That's how I had my past life experience come forward, is basically through my dreams. And then they were so real, and I realized they were memories because they were not only vivid, but they were often in chronological order and repeating again and again some of the more intense experience that I have. And I realized it was a memory, and then spirit started coming forward and speaking through, spirit box, and validating those experiences, that those were memories.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Then you go into the thing is that, well, how do you heal from them? Well, there are past life regression therapy. You got energy healing, and you got shadow work. So those are just some examples I can think of top of my head. There's probably others. So, well, somebody started to show off Kathy that way, so I thought, well, might as well go ahead and hit the nail with the hammer on that one. And that's why we talk about meditation all the time. To talk about behaviors and triggers. Energy healing is a big one. Clearing out the chakras, blockages, and all that other stuff. That's very huge. And a lot of people don't understand that. But as we're talking, ladies and gentlemen, if you want Angelillo to give you a reading, just say I do. And whatever you want, I'll start putting you in line for the reading when it comes time. So we'll start marking it. But it was just interesting because when I saw Dow say that, was it Dow?
Yes.
Yeah, when I saw that, it was just like all this information was like going. I thought, well, let's start off the show that way. Dow is a good way to do it. So that's for sure. Yeah.
Yes, a lot of spirits that are around us too. Friends and family that chose not to reincarnate, but instead to support us by becoming spirit guides for us. I find that that's quite common, especially in war. You have somebody that you help save in a war, and you could be born a woman in this life, and lo and behold, the soldier that you saved in your past life is, when you were a man, is now your friend and your guide in this life.
Right. Right, absolutely. It's just, you got to read up on it, and especially about blockages and so forth, because that really hinders a lot of people, and it actually turns into medical issues as well and health problems.
Right, because I had that pain from everywhere that I've been shot in my past life, and it was chronic and severe, and no doctors could ever figure out what the issue was. But then I realized it was my past life. And I had to work through that.
Chris says, thanks again for live as always. Is there anything I need to know about upcoming with the next 3 to 6 months? I'm moving. That's what you need to know, and I need help. But anyways, Chris, I got you in line. Not a problem. So yeah. All right. Anybody else wants to get in line as we're talking? Well, if not, we'll start with Dow. Go ahead there, Angela.
All right. Are you done with all the karmic past life experiences? So let's start with Dow.
I know the answer, but you may not want to hear it.
So the first rune. Okay, so the first rune I have here, if it'll let me show it to you, and it's not letting me show it to you. So, but the first rune, see if I can put it right up against the camera. It will not. Okay, there it is. You can see it. This is Thorasos. So Thorasos is the rune of sharp things, boundaries, caution. What I'm getting from this is no, you're not done. No. It's like a resounding no. There's still something that still has to be dealt with. The next rune I have here, this is Manos, and It's kind of hard to see. This is the rainbow bridge. This represents wisdom. And this rune, you can see that there. It kind of looks like a bridge right there. So this rune I'm getting, there's a bridge that's still open to your past. Okay, so there's still a pathway there. And from what I'm getting on this, that past is still open, waiting for you to reach back and do healing from your past experiences in your past life. One could be from past lives, I should say. Could be multiple lives here. Next rune I got here is, it's going to be difficult to see, so find. Okay, I'm going to put my hand in the back of it. And
by your nose.
By my nose. Okay, let's try it this way.
Hello, Nicole. Welcome. Nice to have a new one here. So if you like a reading, put your name up on the board.
This is Tiwa, so this is victory, but this is also pointing to the North Star. This is also oath and promise. What I'm getting, that you made a promise from a past life that is still haunting you now. You have to go back, find that memory, find where you made that promise, find out what it was. And that's what I feel it still has to be done, because it's still affecting you now. It still has some sort of precedence in this life. So with past lives, I mean, there are hypnotic recordings that you can just download that do past life regression. You can reach out to somebody for assistance from that. You can pay attention to your dreams and just ask for that to come forward, and look for dreams that repeat themselves. Dreams repeat themselves typically if it's an unresolved matter. So that's why they keep repeating. So pay attention to those and remember your dreams, write those down, and give yourself sort of suggestion before you go to sleep. Like, I want to hear from my past life. I want to experience what is holding me back from my past life. Reveal that to me as I dream, and then allow the dreams to come forward and see what develops.
Interesting. All right. Next up, we have Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Thanks again for live as always. Is there anything I need to know about the upcoming within the next 3 to 6 months? Okay. Good or bad, please. And thank you. I already told you I'm moving.
And I have a busy schedule, 3 to 6 months, so certainly I'll be busy. See, for the next 3 to 6 months, Chris L. What do we got here? So the first rune I got, put this over here. This is Isa. I don't know if you can see that there in the background, but Isa kind of looks like a straight line. It represents ice. It could be stagnation. It could be slow. It could be patience. It could be delay. So what I'm getting off of this is stagnation. So be cautious about stagnation, right? Keep your mind active. Keep creative. Try to find something that breaks your routine. Something that keeps you from becoming stagnant. Next rune. Oh, the next rune is blank. Let me go to the next rune here. So the next rune here is gift. And you see it looks like an X here. Gabo. So Gabo is gift, and it shows an exchange. When I'm seeing this on here, this rune is telling me that focusing on relationships here, that give and take, and really working on them will be rewarding. To focus on, to break that stagnation, take that time to maybe work on your relationships. The next rune, third rune I got, this is Nadis. So Nadis is the rune of necessity. It's emergencies. It could also be stress. This rune is telling me to just focus on the basics of your life. Like, okay, how can I make my day-to-day life a little better? Right? Focus on that and focus on those goals, as opposed to long-term goals at this point is what the runes are indicating on here. And again, to avoid that stagnation, work on your relationships, work on your day-to-day life, to make it more enriching.
Interesting. It sounds good. Yeah. The next one is Nicole. She's a new member, first time viewer. So nice to see you, Nicole. And she'd like to have a general, please.
All right, general reading here for Nicole. See what we got.
If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please like and subscribe, please. It's free.
Okay, Nicole. So the very first rune, it actually popped out of the bag here. This is Dagaz. So Dagaz is the rune of enlightenment, knowledge, clarity. And what I'm getting for this, Nicole, is that if this rune is telling me that something is going to become crystal clear for you in the near future. It seems like you are wondering or questioning about something, and you're wondering, am I really thinking what is going on is actually going on? Could this actually happen? Is this actually what's been happening? And it's going to become crystal clear to you. It's going to solidify, and you'll be able to make that connection and realize, hey, no, you're not crazy. You are not. What is happening is actually happening. What you thought is what's happening in the background is actually happening behind the scenes. The next rune I got here is Berkana. So I'll flip this around a little bit. So Berkana, see, it looks like a little bee. This is prosperity. This is protection. And this is feminine. This has a very feminine energy. So I'm feeling a female support. I feel like you have a female who's your best emotional support and guide, sort of like a mother figure or a sister figure who is helping you through this. And that's always there for you. And of course, the last rune I got here, I have Wunyo. So Wunyo here, if I don't drop it. Wunyo, put it here. So Wunyo is kind of looks like a pea. See that? Background kind of goes for it, but it kind of looks like a pea, and it represents the weather vane flying high, and that all as well. I'm getting an overall message from this is to trust your instincts, trust what you've been getting. It will pan out. It will work out if you trust your intuition, trust your instincts. And of course, you do have support in your life to help you through whatever transition or whatever truth you have to face.
Hopefully that helps you out, Nicole. All right. Next up, Cindy.
Cindy. All right, Cindy. Cindy Simpson. So the first rune I got for Cindy is Urus. So Urus, this represents iron, the drizzling rain, and it is strength. So the first thing I get for you is strength. And this rune is telling me there's a need for healing and that you need to take that time for yourself to allow that to take place. It feels like you have a lot of healing to go. It just feels like it's a big process that you're going through. Okay, so the next rune I got, this is Nadis. So when I see that, that's the need fire, that's emergency, that's basics. It's like I'm being told by this rune to focus on your self-care, take care of yourself. You're not going to be able to take care of anything else in your life unless you take care of yourself first. So this rune is saying, take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself. Make your self-care your highest priority right now, is what the runes are saying. So the final rune I got here, of course the camera is showing it backwards, but it is Ansus. So Ansus is the rune of wisdom, particularly speaking wisdom. And this rune is telling me to seek wisdom while you're going through your healing process. Seek wisdom, seek guidance to help you through this. So when you are recovered, you are easing into back to that faster pace of life. But before, you need that slow time and that time for yourself to heal, gradually, bring yourself up to speed.
Okay, next up is Curtis.
Curtis. All right, Curtis. Okay, so the first rune for Curtis, again, I got Urus, which is strength, drizzling rain, iron. And this rune is telling me that you've demonstrated some perseverance in your past, some very good perseverance. Okay, so you went through quite a bit of difficulties and you endured that well. The next rune I got here, this is Tiwaz. So this is the rune of oath, promise. Also, it represents victory at times. Sometimes it represents victory, and it's also pointing to the North Star. I'm getting that. Yeah, the runes are saying you should be proud for the resilience you demonstrated. You actually passed a test recently. That you passed that. You've done very well. You came through victorious. And the last rune I got here is Thorasos. So Thorasos, meaning boundaries, but also caution. What I'm getting here in this rune is telling me that your difficulty and everything you had to persevere had to do with boundaries. And if somebody crossed your boundaries and your boundaries weren't firm and they kind of came in and took over and did a lot of damage to you and did a lot of harm, I mean, these runes are telling me that you're now very cautious about who you let in, and that these runes are telling me that it's good to firm up your boundaries. Now you know where your boundaries are and to maintain them so that doesn't happen again.
Next up, Hannah Slate.
Okay, Hannah. All right, Hannah. Okay, so the first rune I get with Hannah, I get this one. This is Isa. So Isa meaning ice. It could be slow down. It could be delay. It could be a call for patience. What I'm getting from this is delay. That I feel like you're trying to get something done. Like you've got this goal, very specific goal in mind, and you can't wait for it to be fulfilled. You can't wait to reach it, but there's a delay for it. So you're being taught patience through that delay. The next rune I have here is actually Yara. So Yara is where we get the word year from in English. And it means harvest and reward. What I'm getting on this is that is a message you're not being denied your reward. It's just delayed. Okay. You have to, and the runes are saying be encouraged. All right. Be encouraged. It's just a delay. It's just a temporary setback, but you will get what you have been seeking for. You will get the reward that you've been seeking for. Okay, so the next rune I have here is Sowilo. Sowilo is success. It's the sun. It's also be a lightning bolt or an epiphany. And what I'm getting off of this is success. So you will definitely reach what you're looking for. You definitely get that success. But then once you reach that goal, it's like I would say like a springboard to even something greater for you.
Awesome. Kathy A., come on down.
All right. Kathy A. So the first rune I got for Kathy, and this rune's been coming up a lot tonight. Urus. Right, strength, iron, the drizzling rain. And from this one, I feel like this rune is telling me, it feels like for you, this is something that's up and coming. And it feels like a challenge that requires some strength, some effort that's going to be poured into it. Okay, the next rune I got here is Nadi. So Nadis is the rune of survival, basic necessities. It could also be stress. This rune is telling me you're going to have something upcoming that is going to causing you a lot of stress. It's going to require strength. It's going to require perseverance.
Interesting.
And the last rune, okay, so this very last rune here, I'll put this up here. So this rune is Pertho. So Pertho is a rune of luck, a chance, the future. But after this passes, you're going to have things turn around for the better. After this stressful event happens, things are going to turn around 100% better than what they were. Okay? So it's going to be much easier once this difficulty does pass.
All right, Michelle, come on down, Michelle.
All right, Michelle. Okay. Show will phone. Okay, so the first rune I got for you, this is Ansus. And of course the camera shows it reversed. But Ansus is the rune for wisdom, also particularly speaking wisdom. Okay. This rune's telling me, and I'm getting the feeling from this, is that you just speak what's on your mind. Like there's nothing, no filter between the what's in your head and what comes out of your mouth. It's like there's this no filter. And this has been causing some issues for you. So this rune is telling me, the runes are telling me they try working on that. Try thinking before you speak, right? So that when it comes out of your mouth, it is useful, it is wise, and it's clearly understood. Okay. The next rune. Okay, I'll put it by my nose again. So this is Algae. So Algae is kind of looks like a tree there with 3 little limbs. So Algae represents sanctuary and protection, and it also has the 3 forms of energy. You have negative, neutral, positive there, combining into one here, and this is also represents the rolled tree. What I'm getting off of this is that I feel like you're really involved in, like there's you talk a lot, you're involved in a lot of people's lives. It's just like you have a very active social life, like going around talking all the time. So this rune is telling me to focus on yourself and building your own sanctuary. So there are times you need to pull back and look at the big picture of things and meditate and just take time for yourself and focus on you and during the silence, as opposed to a lot of stimulation through a lot of communication and a lot of talking, a lot of social interaction. Because some people just live for the social interaction, and that's fine. But there are times we all need to pull back and kind of focus on ourselves just to get a good perspective on things and kind of be quiet and focus on that meditation. So the next rune I got, and this is the final rune here, this is Yara. So Yara is the rune of 1 year, a cycle. It's also harvest. And what I'm getting on here, I've just very briefly got the impression like this is a repeated pattern for you, like a repeated pattern. And when this is like a cycle of you wear yourself out with all your social activities, like you wear yourself out with all your communication and talking and trying to maintain all these social bonds, and you don't give yourself time to rest and recoup and withdraw. So this rune is saying here you might want to break that cycle. There seems some sort of stimulus that you get from all of that socializing, all of that interaction, and that you might want to learn to break that cycle so you have better self-control, better self-awareness, and also a better perspective. So that kind of puts life in your hands, under your control, as opposed for you always trying to fill things with some sort of social interaction.
Yes, absolutely. Next up, Lori Gibbs.
Lori Gibbs. Okay, Lori Gibbs. Lori. All right, what do we have here for you? We have Nadis. So Nadis is the focusing on the basic necessities, survival. It could be also stress. And for some reason, I felt like I was told like something's going around with your throat or something going on with the throat chakra right in here. And this rune is telling me to focus on yourself, on necessity, just taking it one day at a time. Okay. And next rune I got here is Dagaz. So Dagaz is the rune of clarity, of enlightenment. And when I'm seeing this rune, I feel like I got a headache right in here. I feel like you have some imbalances there, and this rune keeps emphasizing light, the sunlight. And I feel like this rune is saying, breathe deep, focus on the light in your meditation, the purity of light, kind of rebalance everything and make yourself clear, empty your thoughts. It feels like you just need that downtime for yourself to just rebalance and refresh. And the next rune is Langoose. And of course, the camera shows it backward, but Langoose is the rune of growth. It's also the flow of water. What I'm getting on this, if you just, for the runes, focusing on yourself, taking your deep breath, working on your energy, cleansing, and just taking your time to empty your thoughts would help so much and actually improve the flow of your life and actually make life feel so much better and so much smoother for you.
Katie says, I think we all are. My heart was pulled as it does resonate. Again, earlier was reminded as a 3-year marker and some choices. Not easy. Is almost once we go big and we go hometown.
Mm-hmm.
So, interesting. KD, and it's hard as many people are passing away. Which again, my heart is with all, and yes, it's more often. It's a feel for me, but my aunt and sisters and mom. Yes, I understand. I do. That's it. You're all caught up.
Oh, wow. We're all caught up.
So, yeah, you blew through those.
So anybody has any questions for me as far as the paranormal or past lives or anything like that? Because I have had quite a bit of experience with the past life, going through it, going through the process of finding out what happened, what was significant about that life, how it's affecting me now, how to move past it, how to, there are ways that you realize when you're dealing with your past life and you talk about phobias and things of that nature. And sometimes you may just have a panic attack out of nowhere. Of course, it could be a medical issue, but at the same time, it could be something reminiscent of a past life that you're revisiting, and it's triggering a memory that you have no idea that was there, that it needs to be pulled to the surface.
And Lori says she's got something she's flashing up on the screen several times. And I do have an ache. Just found my last sibling is passing. She's not great, and I need to not feel upset. Okay. Angela, is it okay to love her and not like her?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's just people, and it's my impression that we get difficult people in their lives, and they have an agreement with us to be a challenge for us to test our patience. They teach, they teach us patience and they teach us love, because when we reach out and love them in spite of the difficulty they have caused us, you actually grow and leaps and bounds in progress in your soul. And when you are crossed over and you're in heaven, I mean, that releases karma, that releases the repeating destructive patterns for you. And that can also help that other person as well.
Angela, my sister is in care. What do you think she thinks about me?
Okay, let me take a look here, see what the runes have to say. All right. Let's see, what is Lori's sister thinking about her? Okay. The first rune's blank. Next rune I got is... Okay, so I got Thorasa. So a thorny relationship that I see... What I'm being shown is a heart with thorns wrapped around it. So to me, that indicates that there's still mutual love, but there's difficulty, right? When you get together, sometimes you have a tendency to make each other very uncomfortable and kind of jab at each other quite a bit. Okay, but I'm seeing a heart wrapped in those thorns. So I believe that she feels love for you as well, that she feels that love bond. And the next rune I have here, this is Wunyo. Again, the camera's showing it backwards, but it kind of looks like a P. And it's a flag, it's a weather vane flown high. And I feel like she's thinking, someday we'll make peace with each other. Someday everything will be all right. And the next rune I got is Yara. So Yara's being the rune of harvest and cycles. And it feels like your relationship kind of goes in cycles, right? There's a repeated pattern that happens between you over and over again that needs to be broken, and that can be broken by love. So you can send love to her and keep her in her thoughts, and she can do the same to you, and with those little steps of love, and maybe brief interactions, keeping them brief, but when you compliment each other and just say I love you and briefly, and then build on that, and then next time say that more, have a little longer conversation, right? Determine that both of you have to decide to keep it pleasant between you. And she believes that eventually that you will end up reconciling.
Awesome. It's hard. Sorry to hear that, Lori. It's hard. Really is. Any other questions, comments, anything anybody wants to add?
Anybody having paranormal activity in their home that you noticed? I sure experienced quite a bit over the weekend at the old Paulding jail. Okay. Yeah, and K is right there. Mental, emotional, yes. It's work. It is work.
Lori says, Angela, I love her and hope she knows that she is passing and will go on. She'll know, Lori, when she crosses.
Mm-hmm.
So, absolutely. Natalie slides in at the last second where I dropped the gavel here and says, I would like to have a message, please.
All righty, Natalie. Okay, Natalie, let's see what message that's for you. So I have is Gabo, which is gift. This rune is telling me that nature is, well, the spirit world has been communicating to you through nature, and that is the spirit world's gift to you, and that you recognize that what the spirit world is telling you through the behavior of the animals and the trees and the sounds around you and what you're seeing in nature and even in the sky and looking around you. And the next rune, Wunyo, so that's with the joy and the peace. And I feel like you're being led to great joy and peace, because the more that you pay attention to what the universe and what God and the spirit world is telling you through nature. And then you are learning, you are taking heed of their instruction and applying it. And the more that you do that, the greater peace and joy that you feel and experience. And the last rune I got here, this is Isa, Isa meaning ice. And in this case, I'm just being told at this point, be still, be still.
Yes, absolutely. Well, anything? Let's see here. Kay says, codependent's fun. Oh, my heart. Just know that it preps you. It does. Nellie says, thank you. I saw a magnificent owl the other day. So, awesome.
I love nature. I love, and even, watch your dreams for the animals in your dreams too. They come and they talk to you, and they're there to teach you as well. They're spirit animals.
Right. Any last words, Angela?
Well, let's see. Well, as far as last words is concerned, I would just suggest act in love, and that we all might want to say a prayer. This is Divine Mercy Month in the Catholic Church, so that you can say the Divine Mercy Chaplet, and basically it's just a prayer to lead all souls to heaven. And it says, God the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, for the sake of his sorrowful passion, have mercy on us and the whole world. Say a prayer. I would say a prayer every day of love when you get up in the morning, just for everybody. We all could use it.
And it's true. And from coast to coast, around the world. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Coming to a YouTube channel near you.